It baffles me right now that we're even considering negotiating with the Taliban. It seems to me it's pretty simple. Everyone outside the wire right now with Humvees and guns is Taliban. They're all right there. Why don't we just go kill them? There's a good idea. We shouldn't be negotiating with these guys. They're not a legitimate government.
What's that old saying? When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? The bigger issue with Rob O'Neill's take on the situation is how loudly and widespread the message travels throughout the nation. The closed-minded attitude that any and every perceived obstacle must be squashed by force and violence. I say perceived obstacles because far right-wing thought is centered on fear, and perceived threats can simply be people of a different background, skin color, religion, sexual orientation, or class. Violence and punishment become the cure-all for any and all perceived threats, both foreign and domestic.
We shouldn't be negotiating with these guys. They're not a legitimate government. The fact that we're trying to legitimize them as a government is an insult to everyone who's fought and died in that country. They're just out there. They're doing this. They're laughing at us, and they're going to attack us again because they brought the perimeter. They're not extending the perimeter. They're just encircling it further and further. They know that they can get close to us like they did yesterday. They can let the dudes in with the suicide vests and the guns. They're going to do it again, and it's going to get worse. The more people we evac, the worse it's going to get for the Americans on the ground. And it's sad that we're doing this. It's shameful to see it. I haven't talked to one veteran that approves. It's disgusting.
Rob O'Neill's argument also bolsters the defense industry. We must remain at war and maintain eternal enemies in order for defense contractors to keep making all that sweet, fast, easy money. This, of course, isn't Rob's first time calling for violent chaos in Afghanistan.
I don't want to be in charge, but if I was, I want to get the Americans? Cool. Give me 9 guys. I'm going to walk through the streets, and I'm going to kill everyone I see, and I'm going to grab the Americans. It is not difficult, but we have these people who are in charge.
The sentiment and follow-through to squash everything in your path is just like a coke high. It simply can't be sustained, no matter how much of it you do. Eventually the crash comes, and much of the world doesn't care to help us back up after all we've done globally. As the rest of the world rises, the growing isolationist attitude in the United States will only make it that much harder to regain our footing. Our worldwide military activities and king-of-the-hill attitude don't only cause damage overseas, but also here in the U.S. Money for social programs and public commons is squandered, and arrogance makes a fool of us all. This will also have a negative impact on the incoming Afghani refugees. As they disperse across the United States and inevitably run into Fox News addicts, harassment is certain to occur, if not all-out violence in the streets in certain areas. The routine dehumanization of Muslims makes Afghan refugees a vulnerable target to those of our fellow Americans who can't get enough of the violent hatred spewed by people like Rob O'Neill.